Okay, spontaneous video time. I am on at 45 minutes of Bowflex right now. I try to walk frequently because I enjoy being outside, but I also love to use the Bowflex machine and listen to music. So there's a few elements that I want to discuss about what I'm trying to do here. I'm gonna count the number of times I say so, or like. Those are the only filler words which I think I use. That's my first practice. I was inspired when I listened to Ren's Twitch video. Um, there's, there's one to, as he was kind of coaching me, saying that when your voice is a muscle, like how you have to use your muscles for exercising, bench press, cardio, whatever it is. And you practice, at least he practices an hour a day. So I could give up an hour per day to try and do better at speaking and singing. I can do that now. I do not have to wait and kind of do little things to see if I can notice a difference and improvements. And then I'm gonna have to start thinking about a topic which would help before I start talking. So the third element, there's two. I said so. Okay, so there's three. I do not want to be annoying to somebody. I don't like it when people are annoying to me, and I don't want to be annoying. So there's four. These are reasons to practice and get better at your habits, whatever they are. Improve upon them and go in depth when a person you care about has made something for you, because that shows that you appreciate them, you care about them, and you want the relationship to work. And you don't. I tried to write about this before. You don't try and skip over a bunch of things that a person has done for you and start rushing things and glossing over what they're doing as if it's not significant, because that doesn't make anybody feel good. So when you take the time to have these discussions and conversations, it is good for the longevity of intimacy and strengthening the mind, because you always want to connect the brain and the heart together. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was how turning your chores into more future oriented exercises, which help you to kind of turn them into games, such as whenever I went was if you dread doing something, you have to figure out a way to make it fun, whether that be coming up with something such as scoring points off saying the word or using the word as a love word, which Ren did, or hiding symbolic information in numbers, which you can research to add depth to what you've produced. There's all kinds of little things. When I was building the fence, I found I didn't know I didn't know how to build a fence. I did not know how to pour concrete. I did not know how to put a tent together. I did not know how to do any of those three things. And it was summertime whenever I started building that, or I think it was summertime. It was hot outside. And there's five now. I gotta practice. I don't know how to do any of those things. And it added time. It made it take longer for me to take the time out to learn how to build the tent. And I did that so that I could protect myself from the sun belting down on me so that I didn't get sunburned while I was digging the places to put the fence posts. And I didn't just do holes. I would do a hole and then I covered the whole section with concrete because I didn't want the dogs to dig around the fence line. But 8 now. When I did that, I was learning a lot of different things. I was spending time with the dogs who were helping me dig in the dirt. They would help me pull up weeds or roots. Then I was also learning how to put a tent together. I was protecting my skin from the sunlight, and I was enjoying myself because I wasn't just rushing through things to try and hurry up and finish. And then I would write little stories or come up with poems and uh, mine different elements, which made my work and my connecting with people much more enjoyable. And that's what I like to do whenever some issue comes up. We want to improve upon what we do, but if that improvement makes you feel bad about yourself because you're too critical, then you can flip things around, which add love to whatever you're doing, where you don't feel like you're cracking a whip at yourself, that you're actually getting joy in the kinds of activities that you're doing. And I think that's a good thing to start to try and discuss about how you incorporate fun and optimistic outlook into the kinds of work that you produce and being able to keep up with your daily activities. Because of course, if we're going to share a house together and we're going to have children, there are so many things that we're going to have to keep up with and also not get on each other's nerves. So there's no, what, number 10 now. There's all kinds of things that you can do, but to respect a person, I think it's important that you pay attention to little things that might be getting under their skin about what you do. That's kindness whenever you are willing to change your habits or you're willing to work on things that you know that you can improve on. Anything. But also put in some extra mechanisms where you remove dread from whatever you're trying to get yourself to do, because a lot of times we can dread all kinds of different things, and you can turn even digging a hole into something fun if you can get into what you're doing creatively, and you can get organized by coming up with these different point systems and layers of things as to what you're improving upon in that structure. And we talk about the meaning of life. Well, that is too broad of a topic. You narrow that down into what you're doing right now and treat it sort of like an onion. Take down each component, and if you want to explain things to people in an educational way, then explain the reasons why you did what you did. For example, I did 4 layers of walls when I took out those windows. When I met Ren, he came up with the idea for Slaughterhouse and he added his own elements into things. And that bridged a connection between us because of what I was doing to my house. I was trying to figure out how to do these therapeutic things, but I had asked for a way that my house could be incorporated into building a family. And I'm not I sometimes think that I should go faster to finish everything, but then when these extra ideas come in about what we're doing, it makes it so much better and it makes it so much more heartfelt. But the before he decided to do the Slaughterhouse album, the first some of the first things that I started doing was taking out walls and learning how to do headers where you support the where you take out the 2x4s, you support it with a beam and then you come down with that. And the first one that I did, I asked my mother to be here with me when I did it because I was scared that the ceiling might cave down and fall on me. And then after I decided to do, however, I did one, two, three, um, four more, maybe it was five more wall openings so that I could reconstruct the hallway and change the way the bathroom was done and take out a closet and redo where the door was and make them wider. I did that however more many times, and I will have to take count. That's something I can improve upon. However many more times, and then I was able to do it by myself, and it was not stressful anymore. And those activities that I've done in my house where I was freaking out because I was scared and I started doing things all by myself, every time that I did one of those things, it decreased my anxiety and in a physical way. And just going through um, there we are at number 11, I think. Just going through talking to myself and writing to myself was not enough for me to be able to feel like I was improving with the way I felt bad about myself and all these other things from having to dig through my past and try and sort through that and make sense out of it, correct myself, and not feel so afraid of being alone. And also now we're to the point that I've worked through not being afraid of being able to trust people. And there's so many elements that have gone into what we're doing that I try to make the effort to make sure that I am focused on what is it that I need to work on here and explain that to myself because that really does help. It helped to me to stop trying to outrun my past. When people would tell me that I didn't want to get sucked up into the past and repeating things, which I hate, when the stuff about George Orwell gets brought up because it's about, well, I didn't really, I don't, I was scared of watching movies for a while because I didn't want the movie to become incorporated into my life. There was a lot of things that I've had to work through fears because I sort of want to have this element of control over what I choose to do for my future. And I don't want to be blending in with the movies and things like that. So I try really hard to, I don't know, work out the way that I take in information so that it's not like that. But I did not like that description of what they did in that movie because it bothered me. They were trying to get the people to not trust themselves and their memories and to claim things about themselves that were humiliating and kind of, you know, I took it as being pussy whipped, basically, is what he seems like. It just, this out external control over him trusting his own mind is what that I did not. I don't even like to talk about those type of movies because some movies are disturbing, and I know that they're blown out of proportion for dramatic effect and things like that. But when you can pick up your pen and you can explain things well to yourself, and you can sort of write your own plans for how you would like to proceed with what you've already experienced and done with your life, and make that better for you, I much prefer that. And if you, even if what you're fantasizing about is not reality yet, you can work towards things and make yourself feel good imagining it. And you do invoke this sort of love within yourself, such as what I do about thinking about tractors and agriculture and other things. And I've incorporated that into a small amount in my backyard, and a lot of the things that I've experienced happening with Ren started out as seeds in my imagination, and I don't know how that's going to turn out. I get super confused thinking about all the children. That's one thing that I'm like, it could be possible, it may not. I don't know. It's it's sort of a fantasy, but there's number 12. But the ways that I use those names and I start talking about them when I feel frustrated is oddly therapeutic in some ways, and we've built things off of that. And I'm going to continue with these speeches. And I am also in the word by means two. Okay, we thought of two more names because of wondering how many children there were. And I was trying to, whenever I start to hit seven children, that's when fear starts to be like, seven? Because I was thinking about that when I'm sitting outside with my dogs, and it seems rather easy to be with seven dogs, but to imagine those being people who each have their own needs to be met from their parents, and needing uh, specific alone time instead of being in a group, so you can have both of those elements where you're getting to feel like that you're unique, you're not just a part of a, the group identity, and those kinds of questions that might come up if I could actually do all that, plus being an older mother. It's not the same as having a bunch of animals. Animals don't communicate with language, and um there's 13. They're happy kind of with living on dog food, water, and snuggles. They don't need the same kind of things from you that a human would. So these are questions that I don't have the answers to. I get I get real. I thought that five was the perfect number, but I was going to consider going up one more. But whenever we had two more names show up, I was like, I do not really feel comfortable going that high. Five, I thought was good because of how it connected with the number coordination and all that. And then I was thinking about the CC as my initials, 3 and 3 on both sides, and how that would be even. I could maybe, but I don't know about these things. We need to take these things as they come, and have a very good plan if we think that we can actually be um, bold enough to actually try to do that. Because I also want to be able to run this structure that I've created with the pond thing. So there's a lot of things, and I still need to be cleaning house and cooking, and I wanted to do homeschool. These are a lot of elements that I'm trying to place on myself. Plus, I do not want to, I want to keep my dogs, and those are, never having been a mother before, those are a lot of elements. Plus, keeping your marriage in good, loving, continuous feeling connected with each other and spending enough time together and all of those things. So these are things that we need to think about. Now, I actually am into the state where I almost pretty much 100% believe that these things are really happening. Almost 100%. And I feel really good. I feel like drastic change within me has happened over the last a week or so. 2 weeks, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe a week. But does butt count as one? Anyway, I'm going to work at these videos. So, and there's a so. How is my count, anyways? If I went back and I counted, tried to see if how good my math skills were at trying to keep a ticker going while not thinking about the ticker in my head, how good would I be with that count? Because I think I'm at 16 right now. Okay, so the other thing that I want to incorporate is that, yes, I did say that I would like to get better at singing. And if I come up with a poem or a song at the end of each one of my communications, then I'm knocking out both, and I'm keeping up with my chores, and I'm doing everything that I'm trying to keep afloat over here. If I wing it, what kind of song is going to come out of my head right now? Okay, this is an old song that I knew. I have a voice inside my head that told me which one to do. This is an old song that I learned from a girl named Mindy when I was in elementary school, and I used to sing it all the time. See if I can remember the words. Miss Mary Mack, 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 all dressed in black, 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 had silver buttons, 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 all down her back, back, back. She asked her mother, 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 for 50 cents, 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 to see the elephant, elephant, elephant. Jump the fence, fence, fence. He jumped so high, high, high. He never came back, back, back till the 4th of July. Lie, lie, lie. Miss Mary Mack. Is there any significance in that voice in my head telling me what to do? Rendiel, I'm choosing you. No matter what kind of clue comes out of me, I am choosing you. Choosing you, choosing you, choosing you. Okay, back to work.